people get caught up in what they think that other people think of them. And I think that's where they try to hide their passion or hide what they truly love. And just go for it. Like what if you swing and miss, you swing and miss. Like that could be better. Yeah, that could be better than hitting into a double play.
Yeah.
Right. And so like just because you swung and missed, that's not the worst outcome. The worst outcome would have been hitting into a double play. But you chose to swing the bat as something you loved.
And even then, right, you still get another at bat.
You still get another at bat. There's another game and another season. Tomorrow's not promised, but you prepare like it is, and you pray like it will happen.
Yeah, man. Visualization. Like that's a big. You need to see yourself in that position already. Like I always told, I was like, I mean, if you're from the baseball, you got guy hitting, guy on deck, guy in the hole. I was like, guy in the hole, what's your job? Oh, I don't know. I'm like, you need to visualize yourself hitting the ball in the gap right now. Like you need to see it, because if you don't see it, it's not going to happen. It may not happen.
Right.
Like I think, that's when that mental toughness and that ability to just like be that kind of guy that like you're not going to get put down, you're not going to show your emotions, you're going to get up and keep grinding, and that's in any scenario, any environment. If you can continue to do that, you're going to be good, bro.
And the question is, can that be taught? Right? Can that mental toughness be taught? And I don't want to just make it so black and white to either say you have it or you don't, right? There's outliers and outcasts. Michael Jordan is clearly an outlier in that aspect. But can somebody really turn around? And I'd say to an extent they can.
I think you can, bro. I think
it's all fascinating, because there needs to be like that moment in which it's belief at the end of the day. If it happens to you and you believe that it happened, then you can. But if you have any sort of doubt that, oh my God, like what am I going to do? Visualize, really? And it's like, no, that's not going to work.
I always tell kids, man, because it's not like you've gone through your whole life and you haven't done one like dope thing, good thing. Like I always tell kids, put yourself back in that exact scenario where you smacked the ball over the fence, you ran a touchdown back 90 yards, you smacked the fuck out of a guy. Like that is it, you know? Like there's nothing like stepping on that field and being in that position, and it's like, so I think it's one of those things that needs to be like, if you're that guy that like continuously like just sucks at, then like, I don't know, you got to find a different path. And that's just like, you got to, at some point you got to come in time. And I think that's when parents get a lot of these, like, like I was listening to Gary Vee talking about like 5th, 6th place trophies. Like, fuck that. Like, like it's first place or like nothing. And you got to grind towards that stuff, but I think like, if you've experienced that at some point, if you've been the best at some point, right, and you're the best on that field, like I think you need to put yourself back in those positions when those thoughts come to mind, when those doubts appear. Like you need to have that ability to be like, I've been here before, I've done it before, I felt it before, But it is definitely tough, bro. Every kid has their own life. Every kid has different parents. Every kid has different daily. You never know. That's one thing. That's why I don't judge, because it's like I really don't know what your home life is like.
Absolutely.
And unless you want to open up about it to me, like I'm not gonna really ask it. Like I can read kids fairly well. Like I'm a firm believer on energy, bro. Like for me, I'm all about positive energy. If I can continue to put out positivity in all my athletes and everyone I get a chance to interact with, like that's what's gonna get given back to you. So it's like, if I can read an individual, he comes in, he looks low, he's not talking too much today. Like I know something's going on with him. Like I'll leave it up to him if he wants to bring it up. But I think it really just comes down to, as performance coaches, understanding that you only have, unless you live with that athlete and he's your kid or you adopted him, or like, I don't know, you guys train 10 hours a day for like, you only have influence.
You never know. And it's like,
I think that's when that's why, like, for me, a lot of the fulfillment comes from just like, if I can get a kid into like, I feel so good when a kid tells me like, hey coach, like I journaled last night. Like, fuck yeah. Like, that's the shit you're going to do when you're 29, 28.
Yep.
And you remember Coach Oscar taught me how to journal, how to read, how to breathe,
Yep.
how to meditate. Like, those kind of things stick with you.
Yep.
You forget about the fucking speed training and
right.
go be a lawyer or something. Like, you're not going to remember that stuff.
Right.
You'll remember those characteristics and those traits that helped you. Right. And that's where I think that the journaling, right? The breathing, right? Those kind of things help you build that self-confidence back up, because you start to become a little bit more in tune with the person that you are, awareness with the things that you enjoy. And I always ask kids, like, who wants to play at the top of the top of the top, and there's kids that don't raise their hands, and I'm like good. Like, yeah, I'm glad that you're aware of that. That you're just doing this for fun. Like, and that's so cool.
Right.
But don't pretend like you want to be that guy. And then, you train one time a day and whatever. Right. Like, I think it always just comes back down to like the habits that an athlete can create. And that's why most of the time athletes end up, even after they stop playing, they end up doing something good. Cause like they've instilled those habits of grinding and working and being confident and, those kind of things too. So it's tough, bro. It's tough.
And there's nothing worse than chasing something that may not even exist. Because I think that's where, like, we have some built up idea on how like our futures would be. I just got done talking to a Nike professional runner, and it's like we have this idea of like how the future, how certain things are going to be when we advance and climb up the so-called ladder. And it's just not, it's never what you envisioned, or like you expect some kind of feeling to come out of like quote unquote making it to the top. But it's never that way. And I think, I always like to say, like, I'm no different than my athletes. Right. Like, we breathe the same, we sleep the same, we put on our, like, at the end of the day, we're all in this together. And getting them to realize, like, not to look at other people like there's some kind of, superhero, or putting people on a pedestal that is unnecessary is really important, because you just have this pent up idea of there's certain people, man. And some people in powerful positions aren't even, the so-called right people.
Yeah.